Hello everyone, Mr. Happy here, and good morning to you all wherever you are around the world. It's about 5 a.m. here right now, getting ready to go live for an extra long stream day for patch 2.55. Figured I'd do a video about the patch 2.55 notes real quick, just an overview and my thoughts on what's actually in it. Now, we've known what's coming in 2.55, and there weren't really many surprises here, but it was the way that certain things were implemented that I kind of want to talk about. So let's get right into it. So first we have the finale to the A Realm Reborn main story that is going to be implemented. I'm going to be doing this on stream, but I'm going to skip most of the cutscenes and enjoy them later. I really just want to get to, where is it? Where is the quest? This one, the Steps of Faith. It's pretty early on, and the reason is the Steps of Faith is actually an instance that I'm very much looking forward to, and the fact that there's all this extra story afterwards almost makes me not want to skip any of it. So maybe I won't. I haven't really decided yet, but keep in mind one thing. This quest, Before the Dawn, as you can see here, please note the completion of the main scenario quest, Before the Dawn, is required before undertaking main scenario quests in Heaven's Word. So this is something you're definitely going to want to have completed. There's more delivery Moogle quests that have been added, 3 more as a matter of fact. And here are the big changes that we were kind of looking forward to, were changes to the Manderville Gold Saucer. Because most of the community seems to agree that the amount of MGP you get is too low, even if just a little. And then, of course, there were some troubles with Triple Triad, with the balancing of Chocobo Racing. So there's, being some changes made. So first of all, there's new NPCs for Triple Triad, but these don't have the little notification mark above their head, and they don't count towards the 30 wins that you need for the Squall card. Also, they changed around the difficulty of some NPCs by adjusting the deck that they use. I'm sure that's Rowena and Swift that had their decks adjusted. Also, the rules in effect when challenging certain NPCs have been adjusted. That might be Rowena and Swift as well. And they also made some changes to Triple Triad tournaments. For those of you who don't know, there's a lot of people who do win trading for the tournaments, and they always finish in the top 20, unless, of course, more than 20 people do it, in which case it's kind of hard to decide. So the number of matches in the Triple Triad tournament have been adjusted. An unknown amount, it seems. They kind of want to leave that as an unknown factor until the next tournament. The number of points received for winning a match has been adjusted. Players will receive bonus MGP based on the number of points they have earned when the tournament ends. I don't know if that's a 1-to-1 ratio, 5-to-1 ratio, whatever it is, you get bonus MGP now, even if you're not in the top 20. Players will be rewarded a Platinum Triad card depending on the number of points they have earned when a tournament ends. I'm guessing that's almost like a way to get one of the other legendary cards. I don't know if that's the new first, second, and third prize, but we'll see. There's still a lot of things here they kind of left unknown on purpose, so when we get to the next Triple Triad tournament, it's a little bit new to us. Chocobo Racing has been adjusted. The Mgp Rewards for Chocobo Racing in general has been. So the number of experience points and MGP obtained by those who finish 1st to 7th place has been increased. To discourage players from purposely finishing in last place, the number of MGP obtained by the person who finishes 8th has been reduced. I'm partially okay with this. I mean, there were people who were just joining Chocobo Racing and just letting their character run off, and that's all they were doing. They wouldn't participate in the race for real. Unfortunately, I like to have 8-man Chocobo Racing, and now I kind of feel bad to do more than 7, because if the person I invite, if there's someone who's constantly getting 8th place, it's not very rewarding for them. Even if they are trying and they're just kind of getting screwed over race to race. So I think it's a good idea. Mostly the increases in MGP should make things a little bit easier, especially when it comes to breeding your Chocobo after rank 40. So the size of treasure coffers that appear on the race have been increased. That's most likely due to the complaint that, hey, I'm passing through it, but I'm not getting it. That should be less of an issue after today. Frequency in which blue treasure coffers appear have been adjusted. They don't say if there's more or less of them. The frequency of which certain race items appear have been adjusted. They didn't say if that's just the Briar Thorns. I don't see any mention of the Briar Thorns here, so I'm thinking that they are just a lot less common now, hopefully. But they did change some of the items. So Graviball was buffed, and Bacchus's Water was buffed. So if you get hit with a Graviball, you're now slowed for 10 seconds instead of 5. And if you get hit by Bacchus's Water, it now does severely more stamina damage to the character. So they're far more dangerous items than they used to be. So be prepared to be like, oh, I got frenzied. Oh no, where's all my stamina going? So obstacles on Segoli Road for rank 40, 60, and 80 have all been relocated. Interested to see what that ends up meaning. The period before stamina consumption begins when accelerating has been shortened by 1 second. So you're going to start losing your stamina faster after you start accelerating. The effects of foul weather have been reduced, and the effects of foul weather on foul weather racing chocobos and cunning attributes have been adjusted. So a lot of changes. I'm going to have to play with my viewers a little bit to see how the changes actually affected. I have a Pedigree 1 Chocobo that I use specifically for racing with my viewers. I should really go get the Pedigree 2 at this point, I think. So the effects of Chocobo abilities have been adjusted. Choco Cure restores 3% of stamina. It's been buffed to 6, 9, and 12% across the board. Chocobo Asuna, again, buffed from 50, 70, 90 to 75, 90, 100%. Choco Ease, it just seems like all of these have been buffed across the board. I'm looking for one that's been nerfed. Holy moly, Chocobo Silence got buffed. 45 seconds of silence. Alright, well, that's interesting. Holy moly, these abilities were buffed. I mean, these are all things you teach your Chocobo. They're traits, their abilities, but holy moly. Look at it. Increases the chance of resisting heavy by 80% up from 30%. 100%. You can't be heavied with this one, with Heavy Resistance 5. I guess they want to make these a little bit more desirable. I haven't been doing a lot of Chocobo racing, so I don't know exactly how getting these works. I know you can teach them with the books, and those cost a lot of MGP. With the MGP rewards being up, these seem to be worth it a little bit more. So I'm interested in getting wrecked, I guess, by people who have Chocobos with these abilities, with these passive traits. Yeah, all of these were just buffed across the board. And also increased EXP earned in races by 10, 20, and 30%. It's literally been doubled across the board. Players will no longer be tasked with delivering only a single priceless Thorn Dynasty vase in the gate vase off. So you now always get 2 or 3. That's kind of annoying because I hate that gate. Lighting for the main stage when participating in the gate, the time of my life has been adjusted. I'm assuming that's to make some of the NPCs easier to see, putting the highlight on them so that if you can't find them in the crowd, you at least know where to look. MGP rewards have been increased for Vase Off and Cliffhanger. I would have been amazed if they increased it for the one with Typhoon. So MGP awarded from minigames has been increased. I'll have to give that a try when I log on. NPC Greg at the entrance square will now sell various items. I'll have to check that guy out. An independent arms vendor can now be found at the entrance square. The #1 most requested thing was an arms vendor in the gold saucer. You've now got it. So as for actual new content that was added, the Steps of Faith, which is the final instance of the main story, or at least we're led to believe that based on all of this description. Average item level 90 or above, 8 players, Disciple of Magic or War, level 50. And in order to do it, you must be on the Steps of Faith mission in the main story. It's been added to the Duty Roulette trials as well. And also the strength of the Echo in the second coil has been increased. I kind of forgot that was even a thing. So now there's 20% Echo in second coil. Have fun. So the final coil has been adjusted. Now, this is not the last adjustment we are going to be seeing for the final coil. The weekly restriction on entering all 4 of the final coil turns has been abolished. You can do all of them as many times as you want. Spam turn 13 for your weapon, spam turn 10 for that ring that you need or whatever. Players may now proceed directly to any turn in the final coil of Bahamut, meaning you don't need to be 10 to get to 11, you don't need to beat 11 to get to 12, and you don't need to beat 12 to get to 13. Players may now enter the final coil of Bahamut via the Duty Finder with a full party. It has not been fully unlocked in the Duty Finder yet. That will be most likely in about 2 weeks, maybe even next week, who knows, but 2 weeks is the expected time before the final coil fully hits the Duty Finder where you can solo queue into everything. So, oddly enough, they didn't nerf any of the turns, none of the bosses in the turns, but they nerfed the trash. The HP and damage dealt by enemies that appear prior to the boss in turn 1 has been reduced, that's turn 10, and the HP and damage of the Valiant in turn 2, that is turn 11, has also been reduced. So if they're already nerfing trash, which I didn't think they were going to do, they're probably going to nerf turns 10 and 11, maybe even 12, when they hit the Duty Finder fully. I can't imagine them leaving them completely as is when they're in the Duty Finder. In accordance with the above changes to the final coil, the soul attunement and soul resonance granted by these duties has been adjusted. Really? Okay. Players will only appear in the areas following the completion of turn 3 and turn 4 when clearing for the first time. They leave you in special areas, so only after the first time will you end up there. Afterwards, you'll just exit the Duty Finder via the normal way. World of Darkness has also been adjusted. The weekly limit on gear abolished. Roll greed on all the things now. All the things. Roll greed on them. Also, the weekly quest for the Crystal Tower now has the encrypted tombstone. I've been telling everyone for weeks now, save up your poetics if you don't have an item level 120 or 130 weapon. Get a carbon twine on last week's, get an encrypted tombstone this week, bam, instant 130 weapon, have fun. Sorry for the cut in the middle of the video, just had some recording issues with the second half of the video, so just picking up where we left off just now, don't worry. So post-Moogle cap being added to the delivery Moogle quest line, at least I'm assuming it is, because I don't know where else it would come from. Don't know if that's going to finally get me to do my delivery Moogle quests, not really sure. And a Platinum Triad card, we mentioned those earlier with the Triple Triad tournament, so we don't need to talk about them again. Also, MGP required for the following items has been adjusted. These are all covering permissions, which is what you do when your Chocobo hits rank 40 in order to breed them with another Chocobo, if you don't have one that you can breed them with, or a friend doesn't have one at the very least. Also, Leaf Water, the item that lets your Chocobo forget an ability, down to only 600. These changes pretty much ensure that if you're Chocobo racing from 1 to 40, you actually make some MGP, along with the changes to the MGP for 1st to 7th place, because it basically took all the MGP you got from 1 to 40 in order to do high-level covering permissions, so this basically just means more MGP for everyone, yay! Number of items yielded by certain culinarian recipes have been increased from 1 to 3. These are grade 1 feed recipes. They're probably doing that because grade 1 feed is so cheap from the NPC, it's only 2,500, that some sort of benefit needed to be given to culinarians. Also, the following normal quality items can now be exchanged for Fieldcraft Materia 3 with Talon in Mordonat Revenant's Toll. So these are, you know, I forget if these are 3 or 4-star items. I think these are the 2-star items to get up to 3-star items. I don't remember, to get to the different master recipe books. I'm not a crafter, so I don't know, but I know Rich Tomato Relish on this list. So you can trade these in now, the normal quality versions, for Fieldcraft Materia 3. Also, you could trade in Antumble Rocks and Redolent Logs for Cordials. So if you're somebody who has a bunch of those laying around, now you're going to have a bunch of Cordials laying around. The following items can now be stored in the Armoire. These are just a bunch of items that we've gotten as of recent. The Master Rogue's Ring can finally go in there after all this time. Best Gown Ever, Ironworks Fishing Rod, the Kabutos, the Starlight items, just a bunch of stuff that we haven't been able to put in there up until now. The following seasonal items can now be sold on the market board if you just happen to be hanging on to any of them. The Snowman, the Kadomatsu, the Starlight Interior Wall, the Starlight Wreath, the Stuffed Kirkin, Sheep Dolls, all this stuff you can now sell if you really want it. And new items have been added to the inventory of the Calamity Salvager NPC, the post-Moogle cap. I'm assuming that's after you actually are able to get it and that we can't just go back and buy it for no reason. The position of the close button on the Jumbo Cactbot ticket window has now been adjusted. In preparation for the upcoming expansion, the player matching algorithms for the Duty Finder have been adjusted. I would like some more information on this, please, because I don't know. I don't know what that means. Maybe it just means that it's more likely to take 1 melee and 1 range DPS. I don't know. Or 1 physical DPS, 1 magic DPS will probably be the more likely thing. So the following achievements and titles have been adjusted. So now there's a new achievement for the Steps of Faith. There's a new achievement for completing the final story quest. And there's a new quest for finishing what seems like the final post-Moogle quest, at least for now. Categories for Chocobo names have been adjusted. Let's see, what's here? Okay, there's just some new stuff, it looks like. Well, not even adjusted, it's where you find these specific names. Surprised they didn't get rid of some of the other names that you're capable of. The music played when riding the Magitech armor and gilded Magitech armor mounts have been changed. For those who are wondering, it's been changed to Terra's theme from Final Fantasy VI. Far more interesting of a mount now. Still don't know why the gilded Magitech mount can't do the attack animation thing, but one step at a time, right? New music has been added. I wonder if that's just in reference to the Terra theme or if that's just in reference to all the new stuff we got. The following issues have been addressed. An issue wherein the patterns in front of the artisan's apron did not display correctly, where aprons did not display correctly and were by female Makotes, an issue where the main scenario, an uninvited Asian, wherein certain NPCs did not display properly during cutscenes, an issue wherein the NPC Ellie wore the incorrect clothing when accepting the quest, the science of deduction, an issue wherein filtering by French would incorrectly sort certain words in the Chocobo word list, and known issues. We currently have confirmed an issue wherein awaking the PlayStation 4 console from standby mode while on the character select screen causes a lobby server error. So don't do that if you're on the PlayStation 4. And that's it for the patch 2.55 patch notes. Wasn't expecting it to be a big patch. It pretty much didn't throw any surprises at us. Just the one thing that surprised me the most was that they nerfed the trash on turns 10 and 11, to be honest, because I was just like that. And the 20% echo being added to the second coil after all this time. So, Anyway, looking forward to streaming extra long today. I may stream some Bloodborne today as well. This isn't like a 12-hour worth of content patch. This is like a 3 or 4 hour worth of content patch. But in celebration of the finale of the A Realm Reborn story, I wanted to stream and for extra long today. On top of that, we have State of the Realm tonight, the Final Fantasy XIV podcast that we do. So be sure to come by the stream and be sure to come by that as well. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section of the video below, and I'll see you guys on the live stream. Until then, take care.